Today we got some more Official Divine. How strong is the presence? So we just did how strong is the one above all, and it's literally how it says. It's in the name. He's the one above all. Bro is above everything. But that's Marvel's one god, I guess, and this is DC's. This one, the problem with this one is that this one just looks like a regular person. You know what I'm saying? Like, this actually looks like an author, aka someone outside of all these comics. You know what I'm saying? Whereas the one above all looked like a god, which is right here. And funny enough, he actually does the verses with both of them. But I mean, you could kind of take both of these videos as a versus anyways, because I watched the one above all. That kind of explains how strong he is. And this is the presence, and this will obviously show how strong he is. So I don't think I will watch this one. I don't think I have to anyways. But anyways, shout out Official Divine. Link to the original video down below. Let's check it out.
In my last video, I went over how powerful the strongest character in Marvel truly is.
Yes.
The one above all.
Yes.
The god of everything. But today, it's only fitting that I go over the god in the DC universe.
Correct.
The one whose hands created everything and can shape the entire DC multiverse with his presence alone. Before existence itself, there was nothing but the great dark. But from this infinite darkness, a light was born. A hand stretched out through the darkness and made the light present throughout all of creation. And this creation was the DC multiverse itself.
That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. I mean, it's obvious. There was darkness, right? AKA there was no DC. And then it took the author, the one who created all, to write it. AKA give it light. Bro, y'all not paying attention, man. Come on, bro.
The DC multiverse itself. The presence made two beings below him and were the greatest of all of his creations, the Archangel Michael
and Lucifer
of course,
Morningstar.
Lucifer Morningstar. With the presence giving both sons the ability and task to create the entire DC multiverse, as the Archangel Michael can create matter, and Lucifer can take that existing matter and turn it into anything he wants. Yet even these titans who can make and unmake infinite realities were but children in the presence shadow. When questioned about what makes the true authority of existence, even beings like the Spectre, God's wrath made manifest, point upward.
Bro, tell me why I thought that was Doom. I was about to ask, why is Doom here? Wait. Okay, so let me go back. Anyway, so Archangel, right? He can make the matter, and Lucifer can take that matter and create anything he wants with it. So basically, they need each other. One gets the matter, the other one uses the matter to create, but they can't do it by themselves, you know what I'm saying? Individually.
In the present shadow. About what makes the true authority of existence, even beings like the Spectre, God's wrath made manifest, point upward. The presence acts not with physical might, but through the agents, avatars, and whispers in the souls of mortals. Where the living tribunal and Marvel judges, the presence in DC simply defines. Creation only happens because of his will, and his creation is ridiculously vast. The DC multiverse is not merely just a collection of parallel Earths, it's a structured metaphysical ladder, each realm ascending in complexity and power until reaching the true divine. From the base universes to the sixth dimension and beyond, every layer plays a role in defining DC's mythos. Explaining these realms reveal a cosmology that is much more about narrative than it is about physics. And of course, at the end of this cosmic journey, the presence sits on his throne as the god of all. The lowest level of the DC cosmology consists of its base universes, each containing a familiar version of heroes and villains. These are the Earths that most readers recognize. Earth 0 with its mainline Superman and Batman, Earth 2 with the Justice Society, Earth 3 ruled by the Crime Syndicate, and so on and so forth. The Crisis on Infinite Earths showed how fragile these worlds actually are by collapsing infinite Earths into one continuity, only for later crises like Infinite Crisis in 2005 and 2008, re-establishing what was already broken. They're suspended in a higher and even greater metaphysical structure between the flows of the bleed. Introduced in The Authority and expanded by Grant Morrison, the bleed is a crimson space between universes. It's not a void, it's kind of like the bloodstream for the multiverse, keeping each world separate yet connected at the same time. Heroes like Superman have crossed the bleed aboard interdimensional ships, but its storms are volatile and its substances are toxic to mortals. In Morrison's work, the bleed also functions as the margin between stories, a reminder that each universe is a page in a comic book, and the red liquid is the ink point that separates one story from the next. It's here that the narrative power becomes literal, making the bleed not just geography but a metaphor given form. Above the multiverse lies the spear of the gods.
Okay, this is exactly what I was about to say. Yeah, so because right, there are different realms. He said the lowest realm is the Earth one, where these superheroes exist. And then in that realm, it's infinite Earths, technically. But what I was gonna get at is, it's crazy how even at the lower level, there are beings like Superman, who's literally super, who be going crazy, like super strong, you know what I'm saying? And the Flash and all that, like they have super strong heroes at the lowest level. So then what the hell? Who's here now? Who's at this realm?
Metaphysical balcony where higher realities exist. Within the sphere of the divine realms, heaven the domain of the angels, hell where demons and fallen deities dwell, New Genesis and Apocalypse, the twin worlds of Kirby's New Gods, and the dreaming, and the realms of order and chaos. The spheres where myth and story converge, where concepts like death, dream, and desire are embodied in the endless, and where gods like Darkseid attempt to impose tyranny upon all of existence. In Final Crisis, Darkseid's fall shattered the multiverse precisely because his domain transcends the mortal stage.
Domain expansion. Damn, so what heroes have made it there to the god realm or all these other realms? Because again, if at the lower level you have these people like Superman who are insanely strong, and Batman, Flash, whatever, right? These heroes who then transcended or made it to these realms to start fighting.
To the axis of creation, the spear.
Because again, my bad. Because Darkseid is one of the villains of DC. You know what I'm saying?
Stage and sits closer to the axis of creation. The spear demonstrates that DC gods are not anthropomorphic beings, but literal living archetypes, reflections of belief and concepts. Beyond the spear of the gods lies Limbo, the place that everyone, even the gods, go to when they die.
Okay, we know this.
In a guidebook, it's shown that Limbo is a library of abandoned stories populated by forgotten characters. Ascending even higher, we reach the Monitor Spear, the home of the monitors. To them, the multiverse is fiction, a narrative to be archived, preserved, and consumed. Each of the monitors represent a facet of narrative law, and their firstborn Dax Novu became corrupted trying to shape the Overvoid, turning himself into the Dark Monitor Mandrak who fought against Cosmic Armor Superman.
Okay, never mind. Don't even answer my questions anymore, because now I see where I'm at. It was just like a little confusing, but I've heard about these stories, especially this Cosmic Armor Superman one. So now I understand.
Elman sees reality as a literal storybook. Here the monitors debate on which stories should live and which ones should end. The Monitor Spear is thus the library of existence, where beings outside this story flip through universes like a pages in a book. At the edge of creation stands the source wall, an infinite boundary covered by the petrified forms of those who sought to breach it. Beyond the wall lies the source, the raw creative energy that fills all of existence. Jack Kirby's Fourth World introduced it as an ultimate mystery, while later stories such as Final Crisis and the New 52 describe it as the edge of no ability. To touch the wall is to
everybody
confront
went
the
over
ultimate
there,
truth, but the price is petrification. Heroes like Green Lanterns and New Gods have glimpsed visions here, confirming that the source wall is the ink of the cosmos and the wall is its page edge, keeping mortals from falling into the white silence beyond it. The fifth dimension is a plane.
The white silence. Didn't Lucifer go there? I guess my one flaw is that I've learned about the DC mostly through videos like these, where they explain just certain comics or even like OfficialDivine's videos that I've watched. So yeah, I think that's my problem, that I've heard it just through there, whereas I guess I should, read it on my own or just watch a video about its entirety and how this all connects together or something. You know what I'm saying? That's why I got a little confused, but okay.
Of pure imagination, home to imps like Mr. Mixie and Batmite. To them, the laws of physics are irrelevant. Reality is clay to be reshaped at whim. Mr. Mixie has rewritten universes for the sport of treating Superman's world like a chessboard, and Batmite bends the continuity itself, breaking the fourth wall as easily as breathing. This dimension represents narrative freedom unchained, where the story's logic replaces the the laws of physics. It's the children's playground of infinity, doodled into chaos but still resting within the divine framework of the presence. Beyond even imagination lies the sixth dimension, is the highest realm mortals have glimpsed. Introduced in Scott Snyder's Justice League, the sixth dimension is described as the control room of creation, where futures are designed before enacted in the universes below. Here resides the World Forger, the brother of the Monitor and Anti-Monitor, whose duty is to sketch possible realities and test their survival.
But he has a mom,
when Superman briefly entered this realm, he realized it was a place beyond imagination itself, kind of like a writer's desk for the multiverse. And beyond this is the Overvoid, the blank white canvas that all of DC was written on.
Yeah.
It is the infinite emptiness, the unshaped potential, the boundless silence beyond all form, and is described as the blank canvas that can erase all of creation in a heartbeat.
Correct.
Opposing the light of creation, and what I mentioned in the beginning was the great darkness, the shadow equal but opposite to the presence's illumination. The darkness is not evil in the sense that mortals understand it, but the absence of definition, the primal void that even the endless fear. But the presence himself doesn't fight this darkness, he's the author of it. He defines both light and shadow, law and chaos, existence and oblivion. Lucifer is the most dangerous son of the presence and is one of the most powerful entities in DC.
Correct.
With Michael's fire, he can create an entire universe with nothing but his imagination. He walked into the Overvoid, crafted reality from nothing, and carved his own creation separate from the source. Even though Lucifer shaped universes, he admitted that his rebellion was only possible because the presence allowed it. He's just a craftsman with borrowed tools, but the presence is the architect of the tools themselves.
Oh,
Lucifer can create worlds.
So if it did that, that means the presence allowed it. Allowed it to happen. Right. Also, a quick side note: there is a real life show called Lucifer, which I've heard about years ago, and not once did I think that it was a DC show. So that whole time, the show Lucifer was about Lucifer Morningstar, aka one of the literal most powerfulest DC characters ever. That's crazy how they made a show about that.
That his rebellion was only possible.
Oh, and my other question was, if y'all watched it, is it actually good? You know what I'm saying?
Presence allowed it. He's just a craftsman with borrowed tools, but the presence is the architect of the tools themselves. Lucifer can create worlds, but the presence authored the law that lets world even have a meaning. And his other son Michael's death was so catastrophic that the explosion was compared to the birth of the entire DC multiverse itself. The Spectre is one of the most terrifying avatars
but the princess allowed it, bro. The presence, why would you allow one son to kill the other son, man? And now, does that give Lucifer now the power of his matter? You know what I'm saying? So like, does he take his matter and now he's able to create whatever he wants? That's pretty that's OP, man. That's overpowered.
The Spectre is one of the most terrifying avatars of the presence. He's not omnipotent in his own power, but limited to the will of God.
Right.
But even within those parameters, he's shown some pretty insane strength. He's fought against the Anti-Monitor so fiercely that their clash shook all of the multiverse. And while beings like Wally West can literally outrun time and become one with the Speed Force itself, the presence is literally omnipresent.
Right.
Which I guess his name kind of gave that away. Which means he's everywhere all the time, all at once. Fifth dimensional imps are some of DC's strangest powerhouses. Mr. Mixie can bend reality for fun and is literally hold the entire multiverse in his hands, but their chaos only exists because the presence defines the framework of existence.
He allows
if Mr. Mixie can draw on the universe like a page, the presence is the page itself. Even beyond this is the Darkest Night, who is one of the most broken characters.
Yo, I love when I hear the Darkest Night, bro. This story was so beautiful. Like, I did not think that Batman, right? He's just a human, bro. You could be Batman too.
Produced.
Whoa. I mean, I don't know about you being Batman. You kind of stupid. Hang your chopped, bro. Like, let's be honest. But anyways, my fault. Bro, anyways, yeah, this story, when I heard about it, like the Darkest Night, I thought like this was so cool. How Batman, you know, just like a human bat, became this like super powerful being, bro.
This is the Darkest Night, who is one of the most broken characters DC has ever produced. After absorbing Perpetua's crisis energy and hijacking the power of the multiverse itself, he became an entity capable of reshaping all of existence, fought Wonder Woman imbued with all the power of the hands of creation, and he was stated that he can hold the entire multiverse's crisis energy within himself. As insane as the Darkest Night's feats are, he's still absolutely nothing to the presence. His entire rise and fall took place within the rules of the source, the Overvoid and the Divine framework, all authored by the Presence himself.
Right.
The endless dream, death, destiny, desire, despair, delirium, and destruction are all living concepts. Death ends everything, dream shapes the stories of reality itself, and destiny holds the book in which all futures are written. Death guides every living being into the afterlife, including gods. Dream created the entire dream universe is sustained by thought, and Destiny's book contains the fate of the entire multiverse, and these siblings are essential to DC, but they're defined by the Presence. They're not gods of free will, but gods of function.
I mean, I get it at this point, right? It doesn't matter what character he speaks about, who, like how strong who is, what their feats are. At the end of the day, it was only allowed because the Presence allowed it to happen. So just like the one above all, who is above everything, right? The Presence is above everything. It allows these stories to happen. Right, we get it.
Finds morality.
Yeah.
Destiny's book exists because the Present wrote the idea of book into existence. They are all his concepts given face. Lucifer builds universes, Michael breeds creation, the Spectre delivers wrath, the imps distort, the darkest night manipulates crisis, the endless embodied concepts, the great darkness swallows gods. But the Presence authored them all. Every law of physics Mr. Mixie breaks was defined by him. Every world that Lucifer shapes burns with the flame he gifted to Michael.
Exactly.
Every swing of the Spectre's judgment is fueled by his wrath. Every page in Destiny's book was penned by his hand. Even the shadows the darkness cast is only possible because he lit the first spark.
Yeah.
Even holding all of DC, all of creation within his hands.
In his hands.
Overall, the Presence would scale to high outer versal with omnipresent speed.
There you
in the
go.
end, even the strongest gods in DC have a god beyond them, the one who created everyone and everything. But even still, there might be one that the Presence admits is even beyond him.
Who?
But anyone claiming to be the strongest is gonna give up the facade. Now all of creation bow. You're in the presence of God. What's up, guys? It's Divine.
Wait, so the Presence, I'm assuming, was talking about true, I'm infinite and eternal, but even I was shaped by forces external to me. You know what they are. Oh, he's talking about like the actual real life author of this thing. Okay, understandable. What was I gonna say? Oh yes, the scaling. I feel like this actually makes sense. I'm still a little confused about high outer versal. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I can't speak on that, but the one above all, I feel like he made a mistake on his ranking, his scaling.
The high outer versal with omnipresent speed.
Because this is, I feel like it's correction. Shouldn't the one above all also have omnipresent speed? Or just, like I said, I kind of joked around. I was like, speed should be no. There is no speed because he's everywhere at any time. He's just there. They're both present. They're just there. They see all, they feel all, they are all. So yeah, I feel like they should both be omnipresent speed. But anyways, overall, bro, I'm just here for like the entertainment aspect of it and just, you know, just learning some new stuff. But yeah, shout out to OfficialDivine. That is a beat video, I'm not gonna lie. But anyone claiming to be the strongest is going to give up the facade. Now all of creation bow. You're in the presence of a god. That's the Monopoly Man. I was thinking about that too. He looks like the Monopoly Man. The Monopoly Man upstairs is one of my favorite interpretations of God and design. It would make sense for the god of DC to look like a detective. And in the end, even the strongest gods in DC have a god beyond them. The Presence is actually a cool name. I agree. My only thing is that it doesn't look like, you know, like the name is cold, but the appearance isn't. Whereas the one above all sounds cool and looks cool. Looks like an actual being above everything and everyone. Whereas the Presence just looks like a regular like old man or something. You know what I'm saying? W video, bro. Glad I watched this. Appreciate y'all for recommending it. Shout out to Official one more time. Yeah, leave a like if y'all enjoyed. I'll see y'all on the next one.